Jim Mullen, President and CEO of United Way of Summit County, coming to you all from beautiful Akron, Ohio today. I wish I could be with you all in Atlanta. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all about why hope matters. For 20 years, I began my career with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in Cleveland, Ohio, as part of the Diocese of Cleveland. And the Vincentian way and methods have always been a part of who I am. And I'm really thrilled to be speaking to you all today. Prior to joining St. Vincent de Paul, I grew up in a house that the Vincentian way was part of who we are. My father was the president and CEO of Catholic Charities for the Diocese of Cleveland, and also served as the national president for Catholic Charities USA. Catholic Charities and St. Vincent de Paul have always had a tight relationship in many communities across the country, and I saw firsthand as a youth the value and importance of what the Vincentian model does to bring and restore hope within situations that at times can seem hopeless. In a time where we are all battling a pandemic and civil unrest throughout the country, I cannot think of a more valuable and important organization than the St. Vincent de Paul Society to help move this country, these communities forward with restoring hope. And what does that really mean? When we say why hope matters, what are we talking about? Well, let me start here. When we think of generational poverty, the thing that we know is this isn't something people strive for or something that they become. Generational poverty is something we're born into. It is the long-standing multi-generational impact that this country has had for a long time. It's the inability for people to really get ahead. They have dreams of getting ahead, but there's just too many barriers and too many systematic issues that plague them that prevent them from really moving forward. But it's not hopeless. There are ways, there are methods, and there are things that can be done to ensure that people have the same opportunities to move forward. And that's why I think hope matters. As we, as a country, as local communities start to think about how we recover from a global pandemic, how we start to fight the systemic racism that plagues communities across the country, the thing that we can really come to the common core of is we have a duty to restore hope in a place where hopelessness is prevalent. How do we do that? What does that look like? Well, I think the St. Vincent de Paul Society has been doing that for 150 years. When you all go into a home and you evaluate a situation, you're not only evaluating the situation for the financial resources or the food issues that may be needed, you're evaluating the home to really understand and bring hope back to that individual or that family. How do you do that? Well, you do that by caring. That's the first and most important thing. You start by engaging in a conversation, by asking the key questions that they've probably never been asked before outside of their date of birth, their address, their social security number, and how you can help. You start to really dive in and understand personally the trials and tribulations that these individuals have been facing for their entire life. One of the things that I think sometimes we take for granted is you may be one of the first people, strangers, ever to come into their life and really care and ask those questions beyond the demographic questions. Think about that. A stranger. We all, as St. Vincent de Paul Society members and Vincentians, know that that's the story of the gospel. That's who we are. We step forward. We serve people even if we don't know who they are, because the stranger in need is the greatest need. And that's our duty to restore hope. So how do we do that? What does it look like? Well, I think the first and most important thing is you all have the tools that you provide in a situation of home visitation or an engagement with a family around the Vincentian model. But the reality, the tools are just the tip of the spear. The reality is the dignity that you bring to the situation is what reinvigorates that hope in that individual's life and within their family. We cannot overstate the amount that dignity plays for people who are trying to overcome barriers. The simple nudge of caring, the follow-up call, the check-in to understand if the family has what they need is far beyond the experience of what is normal in a person that's living in generational poverty's life. They naturally doubt. They naturally distrust. They naturally do not believe that there's people out there who are genuinely interested in the common good of helping people move forward. That is what you all do every single day as Vincentians. You're restoring that hope. You're bringing it forward. If we truly want to recover from a global pandemic and civil unrest, it's going to take all of us, because it should matter to all of us. The only way communities thrive is if we all come together. Because if we all come together and we care about each other, and we go beyond the demographic questions of who we are and what we look like, but really dig deep and start to understand who individuals are at the common core of what we believe, we will start to see change happen. We will start to see people who have had nothing but systemic issues and inequity issues plague them their entire lives start to trust that people do care, that we are doing what we said we would do to help people move forward. And that's the Vincentian way. That is the way that we've always been taught, to move forward, to restore hope, to ask that extra question, to show compassion, and most importantly, show that compassion to someone that we may have never ever met before, a stranger. That is the key to everything that we do as we restore hope. Hope matters because it's what drives us forward. Hope matters because it's the next step that allows someone to see something that they didn't see before. You all are key. I thank you. I really enjoy the fact that I was able to be a part of this, and I applaud all of you for the work that you do in the state of Georgia and your local communities. Thank you.